happy. Whew. What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? I know I'm on kind of late. What time is it? Like 10:26, November 17th. I just want to come on and get my thoughts. Hope y'all can see me. Hope my lighting is good. I know. Yeah, I think it's good. What's up, Seville? David Brown, what's good, bro? What's up? Just want to give my thoughts. I'm going to touch on a lot of topics. I'm going to try not to be long-winded because I'm not going to be up all night. But I want to just share these thoughts on the recent murder, shooting of a very popular rapper out of my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. I was born and raised in Memphis. I grew up in North Memphis. That part of the city. I left Memphis at age 37 years old. So what I'm about to say is I'm more than qualified to speak on my hometown. Even though I've been, I'll say, hosted in the wonderful Metroplex of Dallas for the past 14 years. I'll just say my body has been here for 14 years. But my mind and my spirit is still Memphis, North Memphis, Hollywood, Springdale, Hanwood, Peories, Chelsea, New Chicago, 9th Street, all that, North. David. Yeah, so I'm North Memphis bound. Went to Cypress Junior High School, to Frazier. Well, that's in Frazier, but I should have gone to Manassas or should have gone to North Side, but still North. But I'm talking about North. And growing up in the city in the 80s was a different experience than young people are having to grow up in Memphis now. In the late 70s and 80s, Memphis was a different place. It was actually a popping place for young people. It was a booming place, but somehow after 2000, something happened in my hometown. Well, for those of you who have not been all over the news or social media, rapper Young Dolph was murdered there in South Memphis. And according to reports, because I spent all day trying to read stuff and see what's going on. Travis, what's up, bro? Twan, what's good, bro? And he was at Ketchum and Airways. I know exactly where it is. When I saw that shell on the news, I know exactly where that is. And Castelia is across the street. And so some people say he died over in Castelia. He was killed over there. He was visiting the popular cookie shop there called Makita's. Tony Davidson, what's up? Makita's. And y'all do me a favor, share this live. Share it. Anybody you know from Memphis, or you're a Young Dolph fan. And I'm going to be completely honest about this. I've been reading what people are saying, and I want to say this. My condolences to his family, his children, and I also bumped his music because I'm grown. I can listen to that music because I'm an A-Ball and MJG guy. I'm a Player Fly, Project Pat, 3-6 Mafia, for when they had about 14 and 15 folks out there. I came up under that. And so these new guys, be it like Young Dolph and Moneybag Yo, I looked at my watch. I got time today. I don't care. I don't like nobody. And, so I'm and I'm not going to try to sound original, like things didn't pop off in the 70s and 80s, or in the 80s when I was a teenager coming out of Cypress and going to high school at Frazier. I'm not going to act like that because I don't play that. I try to be fair, but we have to be honest and know there's something different, because there's some things that was happening that were in place in the 80s when I was a teenager that fell apart. And these young people in the past 20 years have been on some other stuff. And I put a post up here saying this: protect black males. from each other. And it appears to be that. Now, I don't plan to, my goal is not to get into, I'm telling you, the YouTube fear is going all over the place. I'm not confirming or denying or just saying, no, this is not true. I'm not even on that tip. There was an Illuminati hit because he this, that. It was a ritual hit or, and all that kind of stuff. Because this is not the first time a black male has been murdered in Memphis. This is not the first popular rapper from Memphis to get murdered in Memphis. All you gotta do is go to this channel I'm subscribed to right out of Memphis called Memphis News. NEWZ. He used to call it Memphis News Ho. And I kind of keep up what's going on. That young brother who narrates the news on his YouTube channel, he's always talking about little rappers beefing and going at each other. And so I've been listening to people, and rightfully so. He had fans, he had family, and people are mourning. And y'all have to forgive me. I'm not, anyway, okay. They were saying how much he gave back to the city, how much he gave back and all of that. $26,000 to Hamilton High School. And just last Wednesday, he was giving out 200 turkeys. Things like that. And gave, I think, money to the school board. He was buying property in that neighborhood for himself and allegedly his son to have in the future. So, but the thing is, people are saying, well, when people get out the ghetto and become a success, then they come home. And I want all of us to be intelligent. So I'm kind of over us behaving the same way when someone dies that is a celebrity that we like. Again, I can listen to his music, but we're gonna have to be honest and give a truthful evaluation of the music and images that these rappers of the past 20 years been putting out to black kids and the black race. Are we going to be honest, or are we just going to pretend every time a celebrity passes away or someone who passes away, all of a sudden people were so great and all of, I don't understand this behavior. And I'm not taking anything away from him because I don't know him. All I know is what I saw and the impact. See, I'm a huge advocate of encouraging people to recognize images and lyrics. The reason I know that images and lyrics are so important, why do you think Madison Avenue spends millions, billions of dollars trying to sell you sneakers, trying to sell you cologne, clothes? They use images and messages to get you to buy things or to get you to behave a certain way. And they also use music. They use music videos. And they have mechanisms in place called radio stations. And now they have companies like iHeart and Cumulus that owns all the radio stations and put all this stuff, and YouTube and all this stuff to put out these images. And we all understand, the universe. And you know how we always saying to each other, what you put out is what you get back in the universe. How come these things seem to be forgotten because it's a celebrity that we like? I don't understand that. And again, I don't want anybody to leave here violently. But we're going to have to stop pretending that these things have consequences and behaviors have consequences. And I'm for everybody getting out of the ghetto. But my question has always been, this is nothing new tonight. If you just not hearing me, I'm not saying this for the first time tonight. If you knew me at 15, if you knew me at 16, I've always posed questions that I think people are just not paying attention to. We say all these wonderful things. What you put in the universe, you get back. And, the more work into it, you get that back. But it seems to become forgotten or irrelevant when someone that we like as a celebrity or even our close friend passes away and we knowing you know, that what they were putting out wasn't really moving our race forward. And so again, I don't have a problem with any of us getting out of the ghetto. But I don't like the way a lot of black males, a lot of black females have chosen to get out of the ghetto. That is off the backs and the misery of their own race. I'm gonna give y'all an example of what I'm talking about. When I was a kid growing up in North Memphis in Hollywood, off of Hollywood, the drug dealers used to do this thing called North Memphis in May, right? They would, every year, they would set up, get a lot of barbecue grills. They'd have a big barbecue and have a DJ out there. And they just like they're giving back to the hood. You know, they have food, liquor, DJs, just like a big festival, the drug dealers. And then I attended a few of them. But then all of a sudden my consciousness started kicking in. So wait a minute. These group of guys spent a whole year selling crack, getting people hooked on drugs, robbing this very community of families and good mental health. And then the way you give back is to throw a barbecue to give people barbecue chicken legs. See, that is the contradiction that I can't get with. You know, it's the weirdest thing. And so, yeah, we can get out of the ghetto. But how come in black America, so many of us, we step on each other and we hurt each other so I can get $1 million? See, and that's why when people, I guess, die or whatever, I'm conflicted. Well, was it a good person? Because people say you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, all we have to go on is the cover. If the product you putting out is not who you are, somebody's not being honest with who they really are, or putting out a false image of who they are. Are y'all following me? So I don't work like that. You know, I'm not. You know, no, you can't put out a product that promotes death and materialism to young people, and then you give turkeys and all is forgiven. Giveaway, they have a turkey giveaway and it's all forgiven. I don't work like that. Maybe and maybe my brain is too big. Maybe I have too much of a moral compass. Maybe I'm too damn intelligent. I don't know. All I know is I've never been one who's been accused of not having good sense. Y'all see what I'm saying? And so Memphis is full of that. My city is so mentally broken that anybody can be considered a hero. It's so because we don't have very many examples that are promoted. There are a lot of wonderful and great people there, but those people are purposefully not promoted to the front of the line for our children to see or hear. And this thing about being poor. Let me tell y'all something. Well, due to the pandemic, I'm messed up right now. But you know, I've gone to college. I have my college degrees. I'm digging myself out of it, and it's fine. But we're going to have to get out of this poverty mentality as a race. And and it's interesting that all of the bullshit seems to happen all across America, but in the black sections of town. Chicago, a beautiful city, but in the black section, I guess the poor section, that's where all the BS is happening. Even, you know, Knoxville, you don't heard too much about Knoxville, Nashville, I'm talking about Tennessee. But, you know, Kansas City, St. Louis, East Cleveland, you keep going across, in the black sections. That's when the BS happens. No one's ever thought about why. And so, my whole thing is bigger, you know. His death, his attack and murder today is a small microcosm of a bigger picture, because young black men are dying every weekend at the hands of each other. Now we can get into the whole theory about, man, them white folks doing it. It could be some white folks, but we don't see white folks. You know, I was going to start this video off like, oh my God, those damn Trump supporters shot another black man. Oh my God, those white folks that stormed the Capitol have shot another black man. Oh my God, the KKK has marched in Memphis and shot another black man. But I can't say that, because it's not the KKK. It's not Trump. It's not Trump supporters. It's not the white folks at Fox News. It's people who look like us. It's other black men killing other black males. It's black rappers who are pushing murder and death. Who are being allowed to, who are being paid to push murder, death, and destruction on their own race. That's what's going on. Kareem, what's up, my man? Kevin C. Williamson, what it do, bro? See, how come we don't address this as a community? Every year, every time a black male gets murdered, we need to do something about this. Our black men are dying. We need to stop the violence. Lip service. He was this. He was such a great. He didn't deserve it. Come on, y'all. I'm sick of it. Kareem said, and drug use. Yeah. You know, we need to cut the bullshit. We need to cut it up, cut it out. We need to stop this playing games. Stop playing games. Look. Because I'm kind of over it. Because anyone who's ever known me know I've been cussing and screaming in my youth. Even in my 30s and in my 40s. And here I am, 52 years old. And still, the people who have the power to do it, they just sitting around. And we can't rely on black politicians. Because they're no different than the so-called white gatekeepers. Especially if the politician is a black Greek. They're standing around just like Whitey making money off of the murder and misery of black people. All they like to do is run for office and say, I'm over this board. I'm city councilman. I am director. That is the nature of the core of the black Greek. It is. Go just read the history. My man, Steve Coakley broke the news. Of course, not all. But y'all have to understand. Memphis got a bunch of black Greeks all black city council. I guarantee you, most of them are black Greeks or black gays. School board, mostly black Greeks and black gays and church folks. Who else? And nothing's being done. Nothing. It's like nothing can penetrate this mindset of poverty in Memphis. But y'all want to hear something that's interesting, those of you who are not from Tennessee? Nashville was considered a dirt road, just a country bumpkin town. But Nashville happens to be majority white. And what is it about when white people take charge, all of a sudden there's some kind of order? So we're being given the impression that black people can't lead black people into prosperity, into good moral high ground. That's what it appears in the city of Memphis. I think they're sitting around and waiting on Jesus to return to fix this. Because Memphis has a culture issue. Memphis has a culture issue. Memphis has bought lock, stock, and barrel into nigger. The city of Memphis has bought lock, stock, and barrel into poverty. City of Memphis have bought lock, stock, and barrel into thought. That also includes the black sections of the major cities across America, be it Houston, Dallas, Chicago. You keep naming all the major black sections have bought into the nigger in America. They bought into it. We were sold nigger and we bought it. They breed nigger children in Memphis. Yeah, from there. I know it. I saw it. And if you be honest about your city, while the crime is happening, it is happening around black folks who bought into nigger. And that's the problem. You can throw as much money as you want into it, but if you can't convince people to change their minds, you're wasting your money, except when white people get in office. Not white Democrats. It has to be a white conservative to be in office. That's when stuff starts to change. You ever notice? When things are gentrified, the foolishness leaves. And people say, well, you stop gentrification, because that displaced poor, it displaces poor people, and it puts them out. But hell, we're not going to get to the core of it, so go ahead and let them systematically get the shit out the way. Put up a Starbucks, so we know if they put up a Starbucks, y'all ass is grass, because you know what's coming next. Dog parks, apartments that's about this small, but cost about $1,500 to $1,700 for 350 square feet. That is Memphis, Tennessee has 2 rap stations there that play nothing but trash all day long, and not one preacher, not one black person in leadership would ever stand up to it. I did that. Yeah, I did. When I was there, I did. High 107. K97 used to be the better station. Now it's gone, nigga. High 107 started off as nigga, and both of them are white owned, but Negro employed and Negro managed. See, you pump nigger all day long, and that's what you're going to get, nigger. The school system. Let me tell y'all something about the mindset of poverty. People got mad at the greatest surgeon that ever walked the planet. He had a book called Gifted Hands. They hated him because of who he worked for. His name is Dr. Ben Carson. St. John's University Hospital legend. Neurosurgeon. He made this statement. He said, poverty is a state of mind. And people read him for fifth, dragged him all up and down social media to just attack this man. I understood what he said. And so I understood what he's talking about. Because we've even talked about it as grown people. How many of y'all, those of you who are over 40, you said, you know what? I didn't even know we were poor until we got to like junior high school. Because poverty is a state of mind. And my hometown has bought into that state of mind. They make it like it's a badge of honor to be poor. Who the fuck is still poor in 2021 in a capitalist society? Poor-minded people. I'm finna explain something to y'all. And I'm not an uppity Negro. I went to Grambling State University. No, I went to Grambling State University. And I met scholars. I made friends with scholars. Hey, Abrika, good. Mary Max, shoot that information for me, good. What's up? You know, and so I came out of North Memphis. Let me give y'all a little background. You know, because I don't like to hear poor stories and poverty stories in fucking 2021. I grew up in a house of domestic violence damn near every weekend. Grandmother fighting her boyfriend. My prostitute auntie fighting dude beating her ass. My other prostitute auntie, my uncle the pimp beating her ass in the living room. And then there was food stamps and welfare. The welfare checks came, and that was a relief for the first few days. Then the 5th through the 9th, the food stamps started coming and brought us through. But the last week of the month, it was hard on us. Luckily, my mom, my grandma, aunties, and all those, they were able to keep at least a couple of pound bag of pinto beans with some cornbread to get us through to the next month until the food stamps came again. You know what I'm saying? But my mother, single mother of 4 kids, said this to me, living in the so-called low-income part of North Memphis, low income. She said this: I don't care if you were born in a barn. You don't have to look nor act like an animal. So you don't have to have a master's degree, a PhD. Dignity, self-respect are free. What's wrong with Negroes? And I always prided myself on how I looked because my mom, my grandma, and my aunties always prided themselves on how they presented themselves when they left the house. Unlike something has left our race. Something has left that moral turpitude. Something has left. When we integrate into the foolishness, something left. You know, where these folks walk in Walmart in pajamas on and sagging pants and do-rags and bonnets on. Something left the black community. Something left. And we're seeing the results of it. Left so much that we're making heroes out of people who put poison in our community. We're mourning them like they're MLK or something. No. You understand what I'm saying? And see, we don't never want to talk about the detrimental impact of single motherhood. Again, my mom had us. No, I'm born in '69. My brother born in '68. My sister born in '70. I think one in '71. That was it. It was a different time. It was a different time. These heifers coming out today. Why are they having children? I have no idea. And they're purposefully not having a father. Then you got chicks that have babies by dudes who got a man, got a woman. They're having babies by men who got wives. What kind of trifling shit is that? The children don't stand a chance. Black folks today have no respect for the psychological development and growth of black children. They don't. Again, I grew up poor. But I had a dignity and a self-respect that my mother instilled in me. You know what I'm saying? Because see, you can be economically poor, but why you have to be morally bankrupt? It's not required. And here it is in 2021. Why in the hell, if you're not retarded, if you're not special needs, why the hell are you poor? And number two, why do you think that it's okay for you to get your money and you to be successful out the backs and the misery of your own race? But we accuse everybody else of exploiting our misery. But you gonna join in. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm sick of it. And this is what, see, I have my little Facebook page, my little YouTube channel, but there are people who have millions of followers who can say just what I'm saying, but they won't, because they live off of my blood. They live off of the poor people's blood in Memphis and in Chicago and in Dallas and where else, in Houston. All the major cities where poor blacks are acting like goddamn savages. We got a lot of black folks that's got bigger platforms that can say something against this shit. But they won't. And that's the problem. We can continue to have these stop the violence marches, stop the violence rate. That is bullshit. Because if you don't get in there and hit the streets, let me tell y'all something. Y'all remember when the preacher used to stand on the corner? We used to walk past and there you go. He used to have his little small speaker. It was kind of snowy, but he'd be talking to you as you going about your day on a Friday, doing your little sinning. And you know, if you don't get right with God, and if you don't get right with God, He's gonna come back one day and you ain't gonna be prepared. You better get right with him because he said on this day, I'm gonna come back. You just walk past him like, hey man, you know them little speakers, little microphones? That's what we need to be doing, telling poor blacks, get off your ass. It's 2021. What are you doing poor? Well, I ain't talking about COVID because all of us got fucked up in COVID. But those, instead of giving all these grand speeches and making all this shit on Facebook and YouTube, so people have actual economic and political and educational resources to encourage people to get out of poverty. Poverty is a It's a mindset. Even when I was poor, I cleaned my room up. Even when I was poor, I made sure my grandma's yard was cut. Cochise, what's up? JMJ, what's good? Marquette, Kathy, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Even when I was poor, I washed my clothes. If I ain't have but 2 pair of pants and 3 shirts, I washed them. And I ironed them because my mother taught me early. Taught all us early. You know what I'm saying? We have to do it. And we can try to get involved in this classism. Well, I'm a PhD. I belong to this organization. I live over here in the east part of my city. Those people there, but they got some good barbecue though. I don't hang out over there with them. You know, all that. It still impacts us. You know, it's terrible. We have to physically get involved in breaking the poverty mindset. That means tell them, get off your ass. Well, you know, they have poorly funded schools. And they're not teaching our children. Let me share something with y'all. Hold on a minute. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Don't move. I'm going to show y'all something. Along with my mother's advice, how I avoided from ever becoming a nigger. See this book right here? Black Labor, White Wealth, by this man right here, Dr. Claude Anderson. See this book right here? Let me show y'all something. This lady right here, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, the ISIS Papers. Y'all see this book right here? And this lady right here, her name is Dr. Joy Leary. It's called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. This book right here, the Autobiography of Malcolm X. This book right here, I met this man. Let me see if he autographed it for me. Damn, I didn't get a chance to get him autographed before he died. It's called The Black Holocaust. Let me show y'all something else. This is something I just wanted to know on my own. Because Dr. Jones of Kunjufu already wrote the books. It's called Kill Them Before They Grow. And here's the brother. His name Michael Porter. There he is right there. See, this is stuff, and this right here. Breaking the Curse of Willie Lynch. A lot of y'all don't want to believe it, but it's a real thing. Who wrote this? Who's this brother? By Alvin Morrow. Here he is. See, this is the stuff that can break the cycle of nigger. The Iceman Inheritance. I know this is an old school joint by Michael Bradley. See, these are just some of the books I came across in Grambling and later on in my life. And we act like we don't know the goddamn secret to how not to be a nigger. And we sit around, we let millions of black folks in the ghettos just buy into nigger. My hometown of Memphis, Tennessee has officially lock, stock, and barrel bought into nigger. And this weird ass classism. Like it's not going to impact them or impact us. I'm not saying you should go and move there with all the foolishness going on, but a lot of us who are doing better than others have access to resources like to buying property and changing stuff over. Why we have to wait for the white developer to come in and gentrify the black neighborhood? We can do it our damn self. But first, before you gentrify, you got to gentrify the minds of the folks who live in the hood. And Coach East mentioned that. We said that hood had, in the hood we had pride about ourselves. We did, bro. But that's gone. This stuff that they're clamoring on to now and clinging on to, that's some foolishness. No, cause I can go with you and say, who set him up, who did this, who did that. But I'm over all of that. Cause black men are dying who are not famous every weekend across America. David said the youngsters don't read anymore. I read almost every night. Sleep maybe 3 or 4 hours a day. But we're gonna have to instill it. Give it little pieces at a time. I like writing my newsletter. I put a little thing. You can do it a little bit at a time. And that'll spark something. Let me go back to when people say, we know our kids attend these underfunded schools or they teaching this. Let me tell y'all something. You know those groups of folks that was brought over here 1555 and some say 1619, they call them enslaved and kidnapped Africans. They had slave codes and all this stuff where they weren't allowed to read. Then when they were so-called freed in 1865, somehow these people who barely spoke the English barely spoke English. These newly freed African people who were enslaved for 300 years, all of a sudden they were able to build their own community, build a business, build libraries, build colleges, schools. And here we are in 2021, iPhone 30, 5G. What else the hell we got right? All this damn virtual technology, Call of Duty, all this shit. And they were able to do more than what we can do today with a lot less than what we have right now. You kidding me, right? Isn't it interesting how we never look to the past to understand how great we have it right now. There were people who laid down so you can sit on your ass and lay down. There were a lot of people who participated in order for us to be here to do this. A lot of people. And then you have some idiots out here talking about, I'm not my ancestors. I'm not my grandparents. You goddamn right you not. Those people they literally got it from the dirt. Y'all talking about y'all poor. Who in the fuck is poor in 2021? Answer me! Who? Why? And I'm not talking about COVID. I'm talking about before COVID hit. Who the fuck is poor and why? Why are you living in those squalor conditions in 2021? It's about to be 2022. With all this access. And you don't have to get rich by exploiting your own race and putting poison on your own race. That's weird. I find it weird. Rico, you're insensitive to poor people. No, I'm not. I was one of them. Still one of them. COVID messed me up. But I'm going to get it back. I'm going to climb back. Because I don't have a problem with being my ancestors. They didn't have shit and made a lot. And all you had to do is have a grandfather or grandmother to tell you that. They have no damn college degrees. They didn't even command the king's English. But they understood survival. This is what I need to do. And they did not exploit each other. Now you had your little drug dealers in Harlem, New York and all that stuff and all that kind of mess. But not at the rate in which it's doing now. And also, these entertainers allowing these homosexual white Jews and homosexual white Anglo-Saxon Protestant white folks pay them to piss on their own race. They call them rappers and R&B singers. And then somehow they're supposed to be celebrated? I'm not doing that. Hey, Tiffany Sugar. I'm not doing that. It's the weirdest behavior because we bought into nigger. We just act like back in the day, you know who the person we can be proud of or who made us proud? The coach at school. The preachers when they was worth a damn back then. Your grandfather, your grandma, your mother, your father, a cool uncle. You know, those are the people who were pushed to the front of the line. They've been removed. And they give assignments to these other folks to do the weirdest shit. And they push it so much, they put millions of dollars behind pushing smut and trash. And then we participate in it by feeding smut and trash to our newborns and children. And then you wonder why they don't have good sense by the time they reach the 8th or 9th grade. Because you're out of line. And we're going to have to learn to respect black children. If you're going to continue to, and I'm talking to younger people who are still trying to produce children. Maybe you need to take a class in psychology or human growth and development under sociology to understand how to properly raise a child. At least respect their insides and understand that they're computers. They feed off of you. So if you full of crap, well, you're going to have a toddler crap, a teen crap, and a young adult crap. And that's what has happened. And so these cities, in the inner city, in the hood, in my hometown, they celebrate BS. That's what has happened. When you took the fathers out, or women made a choice not to have no daddy, well, society, those who work and they live every day to put out false images, well, they made the rappers and the athletes your children's surrogate fathers. Y'all understand it? Because women are not choosing to have fathers for their children anymore. They stopped there about 15, 20 years, probably 20 years ago, maybe longer than that. Because I know before 1965, black children were born 80% into a marriage and a household. After 1970 is when an out-of-wedlock single motherhood crap started. I mean, not started, but it increased to black children being born over 70% to just single women. That's not by accident. They accepted a deal from Lyndon Baines Johnson and Gloria Steinem, the feminists. And now these children are running around here crazy. Then we as grown folks, we ain't doing no better. We got grown people at over 40 with college degrees talking about some fucking P-Valley and Black Mafia Family and Power and Book 2. All this shit that make black people look like fucking savages and criminals. You mean all these intelligent blacks in Hollywood, the only thing that they can sell is black folks being drug dealers, transgender pimps, and whores? And we supposed to celebrate that shit? And a lot of you do. I just shake my head. I shake my head. I shake my head. It's all bullshit. Again, let me tell y'all Rico, wow, how you say that? Hold on a minute. Let me show you something. Hold on a minute. See, y'all see this? This is how I know. I read this. I read these books. I'm reading them and reading them again. That's how I know it's trash. I listened to the scholars in the 90s. And we just do so little. We're supposed to have all these brilliant minds, and the only shit they come up with, and they're black, the only thing they come up with is some Power Book 2, P-Valley, Black Mafia Family, all bullshit. That doesn't do anything to move our race forward. Hell, all of it's fucking trash. And see, here's the problem, and I'm talking about Memphis and our whole race. Of course, not all. A lot of us are doing really well. They're raising your children great. But y'all know, we cannot pretend that the mass majority of our people live in the ghetto. And that's what they're absorbing. So it kind of boggles my mind when I see supposedly educated people feeding into Love and Hip Hop, Black Ink. What is all these dumbass shows? I'm telling you, it boggles the mind. We supposed to be educated people. Understand people who bought into nigga because they live in the ghetto and they do ghetto stuff. But you're over 40 and you have not one college degree, several college degrees. Some of you have law degrees. And y'all watch P-Valley, Black Mafia Family. You watch Lovecraft Country. You watch all this bullshit. Y'all think it's so good. Power Book 2. A bunch of Negroidian foolishness. But then you want to talk shit about Dr. Cosby. Dr. Cosby was awesome. He did what he was supposed to do in his position. He made sure that black people looked good on TV. He did with the Cosby Show and A Different World. And his two products that we're all familiar with, it actually improved our race. What the fuck is P-Valley gonna do to our race? Black Mafia Family. What's that other bullshit that's out there? All Love and Hip Hop, basketball, all that fuck. They ain't gonna do nothing but keep us in the fucking gutter, in the hole as a race. I know some of us thought we were doing so well that, race, why are you talking about race? Everybody's together. Nuh-uh. See, Rico, you started out talking about Memphis and, young Dolph being murdered. All of it's tied in because it's a mindset. The challenge is upon all of us to participate in getting rid of the foolishness. And I just shake my head at grown people over 40 watching this crap and be talking about it on social media like it's something great. I've always said I don't watch regular TV. I watch Ion TV. And I'm grown. I can watch that trash, but my morality and my intelligence won't allow me to watch no damn P-Valley. No Black Mountain Family. No goddamn Lovecraft Country and The Watchmen and all this shit has got the fool. I'm not going to disrespect what I've learned firsthand from our scholars by watching this trash. I'm not watching it because I think black people are bigger than all that. But Hollywood will spend multi-millions of dollars to put that image out. They do the image that Dr. Cosby tried to put out in the 80s of black people. Doctor husband, lawyer wife, children who didn't run over the mamas. Y'all know Claire didn't play that. And then run over the father. We had the Parenthood. Don't forget Family Matters. Dad was the lead. Dad ran the show. What else we have in there? No, some good shows like that. That black folks that look like clowns and thugs and hoes and pimps and trans with mustaches and lipstick and running hoe houses and strip clubs. That's weird. That's not who we are. But let me tell you something. I'm going to keep telling y'all. We're supposed to be the brighter of the bunch of the blacks in the ghetto. We're supposed to be better than them. But we start speaking and thinking just like them. Let me give you an example. Church folks. See, you can't tell a good Christian woman from a Jezebel these days. You know why? Because the good Christian woman looks and dresses and almost acts like the Jezebel. Back in the day, you could tell the difference. That's a good Christian woman there. That's a good religious woman. That's a good Muslim woman there. Because the way she spoke, the way she carried herself, and the way she dressed. But right now, the Jezebel out here, the thoughts, she got on booty-type booty shorts. And guess who else got on booty-type booty shorts? The good Christian girl. They looking the same. They both look like harlots. And that's what's going on. We can't tell the difference. So we're supposed to be the educated, but we're eating out of the same garbage can, the same pig trough that the so-called ghetto blacks. Do y'all understand? See, we were doing our part and being the example, or as a lot of the educated blacks like to say, being the change you want to see. And in front of our hood brethren and sisterins, and not in an uppity way, like you doing them a favor because you get your hair cut in the hood, or you get your nails done by Keisha's Nails in the hood, you ain't doing no favor. You're just trying to show out. Or you trying to make yourself feel good. I still go back to the hood. No. There's a reason we move out the ghetto. It's terrible there. But it doesn't have to be. If we start thinking economically and politically about our own people. We have this thing, it's called cognitive dissonance when it comes to our own people. We treating our people the way the plantation owner, way today's Pharaoh treats our people. We look at it with the same disdain. Look at that. We do the same thing. Y'all think we can escape being black? You can't escape it. You can move away, but it's still, you can't escape it. There's an energy about it was pretty cool. But there was still foolishness going on. I came up when crack first hit North Memphis. 84, 85, I think 80, like 83, 80. I know I was at Cypress. And all I remember, the summer before crack hit, we were playing games in the street, football in the street, basketball, all of that in the street. Then next thing I know, the next summer came, we started seeing these weird people coming in the neighborhood, all these different cars and all this different stuff popping off. And then next thing you know, young teenagers who went to my junior high school were having money because they decided to sell dope. And guess what they were selling dope for? They single mamas. Helping out their mama. They were getting plenty of money. A lot of them was going to jail. A lot of them were dying. Because they were trying to do two things. Help their single mama who was too lazy to get a husband or a real daddy for the household or not bright enough to do it. Number two, giving it to the women. And then here we are 25, 30 years later, and these same women gonna grow up with their college degrees or whatever. Well, the black men, there's a shortage of black men. They all died trying to get you money, helper. They got incarcerated or they were murdered trying to get you money. Same thing with these rappers. They put out the most poisonous, the most heinous music against their own race. And guess who can't stop shaking her ass to it? The women in our race. Who keeps her hand out, don't care. Just like the mama did. Take that dope money, knowing damn well he had no money to buy no Jordans. She didn't have no money. But she didn't say nothing about it because he's bringing money. It's the same old stuff. We are participants in our own destruction. Any young guy will tell you, any dude that's over 40 and like 50 years old, when he sold dope, he'll tell you. They trick a lot of money on a lot of chicks back in the 80s. There's plenty of money in Memphis. From drugs. But then when crack ended, or the police got their fill or whatever happened, they started cracking down, giving motherfuckers 50 years, 30 years, you know. Then the women sit around, where the men at? Ain't no eligible men. They would have been eligible had you cared about them. Because you don't care about them. Yeah, Kareem says same old stuff, different day. You're exactly right. And so save your anti-violence meetings. Save your your anti-violence gun rallies. Save that shit. Because if you're not going to participate in putting in the mail books or stand up and telling the people, stop being niggas. If you're not going to purposely conscientiously stand up and tell black folks in these ghettos to stop doing that, you might as well let white folks come in and gentrify it. Beg them. And stop voting these black Democrats. Start voting Republican and conservative for your city. Nashville obviously has a conservative mayor. Because Nashville now is the #1 city for bride and groom, for weddings, for grooms' bachelor parties, for music. The country music just really blown up. A lot of corporations have moved to Nashville. Nashville still has a little crime, but it's nothing like Memphis in West Tennessee. Because see, we still holding on to nigger. And that's the problem. And let me tell y'all real quick. Y'all watch out for these damn politicians. Because, see, they're going to try to use his death to try to catapult themselves into campaigns next year. They say, we say Mary Mack gentrification is always in a plan for Memphis. But they need to hell, bring it out because, you know, a lot of people, I was looking at some story, they're like, man, I'm tired of living here. I don't want to live here. You know, when I saw the news, let me hold on to one thing I was about to say real quick about these damn politicians in Memphis. They suck. I'm telling you. Oh my God, they suck. They were sucking when I lived there, and I moved away from there in '37. They sucked then, but they're really terrible. They're obvious, blatant boot licks and ass wipes in Memphis. The black ones, they're disgusting, and you can't trust none of them. They all get there and don't. They run for city council. They run for school board. They make sure that they cancel each other out in the mayor's race so you can get a white mayor. That shit's crazy. And then they get on the city council, and then they all run for all of the high-paying offices like clerk, judge, clerk, city court clerk, county commission, all that stuff, and sit on those seats. And black Memphis does not benefit at all. So you might as well have all Republicans in those seats. At least you can scream, yell racism. But you got these Negroes that you say, he went to high school with me. Oh, he go to my church. Yeah, I know her. We get our hair done at the same place. They ain't finna do a damn thing for the black race in Memphis. You might as well keep your white mayor. If you're not going to get Judge Joe Brown to be the mayor or district attorney, y'all don't know who y'all going to vote for. If you can't get nobody to read none of those books that I showed y'all, hold on, let me show you one more time. If your political candidate has never read this book and don't understand it, don't fool with them. Black Labor, White Wealth, Dr. Claude Anderson. If your black candidate has not read this book or any of these books, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, and none of these books, don't vote for them. Because they ain't nothing but bought off bootlegs. They trying to get in there for their own selfish reasons. They have no interest in helping black people. Go to any black neighborhood that looks like shit, I guarantee you the representative is black. I guarantee you. And a Democrat. I guarantee you. Wherever you live. And go ride around the messed up part of your city. Wherever you live. Go and look up who the representative is. State representative, city council, school board. I guarantee you it's a Democrat and it's black. Now I'm not pushing conservative. I'm just saying, hell, we might as well try something else. Because being black and being Democrat has not worked for black folks in these major cities. It hasn't. So you might well get you, if you don't want no white conservative, get a black one. Because one thing about black conservatives that y'all don't pay attention to, they always talk about the importance of having black men and black boys. They always talk about it. They always talk about family. They always talk about family with a mother and a father, a husband and a wife. Listen to any black conservative. They always talk about family because the scholars taught us about the importance of family. Family is our wealth, mother and father. That goes back to when I posed the question about do black folks understand psychology, the psychological development of black children? Well, you have to have a mother and a father there to balance the children out. But too many African-American women don't think that's possible. They don't think that's necessary. They raise these weird-ass, unsure, confused, conflicted-ass children. And these young men, they go straight to what they think their version of masculinity is. Gangs. What else? And drug dealing. Get that false sense of validation. Yeah. Where y'all think these gangbangers and these rappers who put all this old weird-ass fucked up music come from? Single mother households. That's where they come from. And so until we bear down on that and tell these women, stop having children by anybody and pick a husband helper. Until we clamp down on that, Memphis is never going to change. Black Chicago is never going to change. All the hood parts in any major city is not going to change because a big crust of that is single motherhood and women choosing to be single mothers without a father. That's the problem. We every time you decide to have a baby out of wedlock, in my opinion, you disrespect God. You don't give a shit about God. You don't give a shit about your religion. You certainly don't give a shit about kids. You don't. And there's no debate for me because I see this shit. I've been a social worker over 23 years. And I see the impact of single motherhood and the choice that women make of the men that they decide to have babies with. None of them are principals. None of them are professors. None of them are astronauts. None of them are scientists or researchers. They're all less than dudes. And I want to say this about the politics of why Memphis sucks and a lot of the black urban areas across America suck. Not only have black Memphis and those other areas have bought into nigger, but I want to say to the politicians out there who think they're going to get to use this young man's death as a platform for you to try to get reelected. Because you don't give a shit about black males either. You don't. Because you did, black politician. You know who you be trying to campaign to? Black men. You don't. You only cater to women. So this lets me know you don't give a shit about black boys. You don't give a shit about black men. Check your own politician. I guarantee you, they never campaigned to black men. That's why so many black men voted for Trump and have switched over to conservative. This shit is It's not by accident. Now, I heard a lady say this, and I want us to not go with this foolishness, because it's both political campaign shit based on this young man's death. See, that's what happened when them people in when those politicians said that everybody can have a gun. Stop right there. When they got together and created what's called a permitless carry, that didn't. Oh, there's still mechanisms in place, measures in place to make sure that you have a clean record. Unless you're filling the blanks, clean record. You're old enough to buy the guns and all of that. They're just saying you don't have to have a permit anymore, but if you're pulled over and they find out you got all this shit going on, it's a problem for you. And number two, people, law-abiding citizens who own guns legally, they're not the ones shooting up rappers. They're not the ones shooting up gang members. They're not the ones shooting up the neighborhood. People who legally own guns are not the ones out here turning your neighborhood, your city into OK Corral. Everybody got a gun. And it's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, this concept of gun buyback. That's stupid. The people, the criminals don't go and turning their gun for a goddamn Chuck E. Cheese certificate. That's stupid. So stop saying that, whoever's saying that. Well, they can let it go permitless. Everybody got access. They already had access. They drop guns off in the ghetto so Negroes can kill each other. People who are law-abiding citizens are not out here acting a fool. You know why? Because when you buy a gun, you automatically, you go to the gun range. Those people don't go to the gun range. Their gun range is real bodies. So please, don't say that anymore. Okay? It's not law-abiding citizens who are here doing what happened earlier today in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay? All right. I think I've covered everything. Again, condolences to young Dolph's family, his children, his parents, if he had brothers and sisters. Hate that happened. I hate when any young black male is just, but I'm not going to pretend I don't understand what I live in and what this era is that we live in and what the mindset is. Kareem says, so what happened to that guy? You can Google it, Kareem. Just put Young Dolph murdered in the city of Memphis. He was visiting, I guess briefly, he was visiting a very popular neighborhood, according to reports. He was visiting a very popular cookie shop. It's called Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies off of Ketchum and the Airways in the Castelia area. And, I guess the people who we had beef with or had a problem with found out he was there, and it was a big shootout, according to the news and all of that. And so, again, black rappers been dying like every 3 weeks in Memphis before Young Dolph. And I guess he's a bigger name, so he is a bigger name because his music went boom. But that's why we're talking about it more. But for me, I just add him with the other young men who rap. And also, let me say this in closing. I don't have a problem with people using rap music to get out. But number two, but my thing is, why does your rap music have to be so violent and hateful towards other blacks? He said, no, but everybody listen to it, but the music is geared towards the ghetto and blacks. And they're the ones who who really feed off of it. Yeah, white people listen to it to the entertainment. They live out the ghetto through your music. While they're living in Germantown and Collierville or whatever suburb of the major city is across America. Yeah, they might even try to, speak the lingo, but that's entertainment to them. Poor black kids who don't have a father figure, who are not shown very many positive father figures, take that stuff as if it's Bible. See, you have to be responsible. But it is interesting though. We had rappers. See, what should be happening in Memphis is an onslaught of shutting down those rap stations there. K97, iHeart, Flint Radio Broadcasting, Hot 107. That's what they need to do. By the thousands, go up there in the morning or this week and say, or somebody must do, y'all need to cut this shit out. Stop it. And if the kids want to listen to rap, well, it needs to be played. They can go and get it off the internet. Because they know Memphis is a majority black city. And they pump that crap all day long. And of course, every Negro that's a DJ, man, the parents need to be responsible for this. No, man, you can't run that by me. Because parents, damn well parents don't have any control of children anymore. Like they did when we were kids in the 70s and 80s. These kids have all kinds of streaming and all kinds of cell phone. They have all kinds of stuff. They have all that when I was a kid. So parents had a little more control or clutch or grasp on what their kids listened to. We only had a few stations. Then cable came in and changed all of that and all kinds of stuff. So that's very irresponsible when I hear a black DJ say that stupid shit or a black rapper say that stupid shit. That's like passing the buck. You putting fuck shit out there. Well, the parents need to raise the kids. No, that ain't how they work. Their brains are still developing. Now, me at 52, I can listen to the crap. I can buck dance and all that on it. But then I can get up and go to work, or I don't put tattoos on my body. I don't throw pills down my throat. I don't smoke blunts. I don't wear ugly ass designer jeans. These dudes wearing designer jeans. All I wore was Levi's. Tight ass design. I'm telling you, this rap music is trash. It's not hip hop. This is murder, kill, murder, murder. I hate black people music. That's what it is. And the white homosexuals and white Jews make the offer to these young black boys living in the ghetto. I'm not gonna put you on unless you present and you articulate nigger. You understand? And they say if I had a son or daughter and my son wanted to be a rapper, I said, well, I need you to listen to Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff and Lupe Fiasco and people like that. No one ever died at Will Smith's concerts. No one ever got a tattoo of lips on their necks because something Will Smith said or what he did. Nobody ever talking about hated other blacks, in their music. People say they want to say about Will, and there's a lot to be said. But I'd rather have Will Smith be the influence if I could pick a rapper than any of these current ones out today. None of them. Kendrick Lamar is cool, but see, I don't like when these rappers use the N-word all day long. Kendrick Lamar could be awesome if he can just drop the N-word. See, cursing never bothers me. But don't do excessive cursing, because it doesn't make any sense. Y'all feel me? Flo Rida. Flo Rida's a rapper. Did y'all know that? Millions of dollars, millions of fans, crossover fans. Not one person has ever died that I know of. Maybe of heat exhaustion, because be so many people when he was out there performing. But these other people, you can't go to these rap shows because they don't always make it to closing time. Because they're playing some music, they play music that antagonize each other. All we did was party with each other in the 80s and 90s, early 80s rap. Now, we're not going to act like 2 Live Crew wasn't there. And even with that, they were talking about pop that coochie, not pop a nigga. Do you understand? And there was a lot of influences that are out there, but they purposely don't shoot. They don't share Will Smith and people like him and DJ Jazzy Jeff. And then I want to say this in closing: you DJs is over the age of 30. I'll say old. You DJs out here working at these K97s and Hot 107s and 97.9 The Beat here in Dallas and K104. You motherfuckers over 35 years old playing this little cheering ass music. You need to seek therapy. You need to seek therapy. And then you around here, you need to seek therapy. What's wrong with you? I've always said, I was just talking to somebody today, I said rap music keeps black men in perpetual boyhood. You got 40-some-year-old Negro males rapping about blunts, bras, bitches, material things, Gucci, Dior, and all this. No, just fashion Negroes over 40 talking like that. But hip-hop allowed black men to mature in their headspace and to age gracefully as men. But rap music today keeps black men in perpetual boyhood, which leads to petty arguments and divisiveness. And it's time out for the foolishness. And all of us have a part to play in this. And if we really truly cared about the progression of our race as black people, we would all come together and just grab these black boys and say, I'm sorry. And start and get them and say, no, this is the direction you need to go on. We have little pockets here and there that try to be an influence, but it's so many of us that will have a part to play, and we're not playing it. Either out of selfishness, out of fear, or I ain't got time, or you think you're too good, whatever it is, you're not helping. But anyway, I digress. Thank y'all so much for allowing me to do my rant. I didn't mean for it to go on this long. I have to get up early in the morning. Mary Max called me good when I get done. So I'm going to talk to y'all later. Y'all be cool, all right? Peace.